The Jeep Gladiator is finally out, and I see him on the road quite often. Overall, I think the design is very good. Here's the thing, it's not the first truck version of a off-road vehicle. Back in 2009, Hummer released a truck version of the H3. And now 10 years later, Jeep has made a truck version of their Jeep Wrangler. That's 10 whole years. And in that 10 years, the H3 truck has depreciated slightly, but not too much. You could pick one up for around $20,000 to $25,000. And considering that's a 2009 car, it's still relatively expensive. That brings up the question, is it worth spending an extra $10,000 on a base Jeep Gladiator? Today we're going to be comparing the Jeep Gladiator and Hummer H3T, and we're going to see truly which one is better. Starting off with the looks. The H3 truck is just an H3 with a bed on it. A full-size bed. It's not like the H2T, which had that half bed. The interior is also a good interior. Many of the H3Ts have a leather interior, but there is cloth as well. Some H3Ts have a screen, and some have just a standard radio from 2009. In fact, some H3Ts have a backup camera, if not all. I believe it's in the rear view mirror. It pops out the side when you shift into reverse. Now onto the Gladiator, which has a similar design to the H3T. It's a Wrangler with a full-size truck bed. Well, I say full-size, it's about 5 feet. We'll compare truck bed size in a minute. But the Gladiator looks good. I feel like they could have done a couple things differently, but for the most part, the design was hit spot on. I would change very few things to it. The design is up to you. You can either like Hummer's designs better or Jeep's designs better. That's basically what it comes down to. But when it comes to power, you might be surprised in this category. The Gladiator's horsepower is 285. While the Hummer's is 300. Torque is also a surprising number. The Gladiator only has 260 pound-feet of torque, while the Hummer has 320 pound-feet. The Gladiator achieves its numbers with a 3.6-liter V6. The H3, however, uses a 5.3-liter V8. Now this does hurt the H3 in fuel economy, 13 city to 18 highway, and the Gladiator does just a bit better with 16 city, 23 highway. Now I'm sure you're going to be doing a lot of towing in one of these trucks. And surprisingly, the H3 comes out on top yet again. The H3 can tow up to 5,900 pounds, while the Gladiator can only tow 4,000 to 4,500 pounds. That's a 1,000 pound difference. Now you may not be towing anything, so payload could be important when loading things into the back of your truck. This is where the Gladiator beats the H3. The H3 has a payload of just over 1,000 pounds, while the Gladiator has one of about 1,600 pounds. Now the base Gladiator only has a base payload of 1,080. It's still better by a few pounds than the H3. Now bed size. Now the beds aren't too big on either of these trucks. This is another category the Gladiator beats the H3 in. The H3 has a 58.8-inch bed, while the Gladiator has a 60-inch bed. So that is only about 1.2 inches of a difference, but still, to some people that might matter. Now, it's a Jeep and a Hummer, so we gotta discuss off-road capabilities. Ground clearance. The H3's ground clearance is 9.7 inches. Now, the Gladiator beats the H3 with an 11.1-inch ground clearance. But hey, maybe you're going through water. The H3 can go through about 24 inches of water, while the Gladiator can go through about 30. So they're both very capable, and this is with base numbers. Overall, these are pretty similarly matched trucks, but there is a little bit of a winning edge on the H3, which came out 10 years earlier. It can tow up to 1,000 pounds more. And while its payload is just barely less than the Gladiator, it's not much of a difference. It's up to you whether or not you want to spend the extra $10,000 or not. Now you have to realize that extra $10,000 does go into a newer car, newer technology, you're probably going to get a good warranty, and there's features that the Gladiator has that the H3 doesn't, such as a removable top. And it's a Jeep, so you're going to have a lot of aftermarket parts. The H3 has a great aftermarket support, but it's not as good as a Jeep's aftermarket support. Anyway, that's all for this video. I hope you enjoyed. What do you think's better, the Jeep Gladiator or the Hummer H3T? Comment down below. And I'll see y'all next time. Goodbye.